Damon John, anything else? Think cut pretty body that well before we get into our Eastern Conference playoff predictions.
Ready. Let's pick.
Bet. All right, we start with the first matchup. Bucks, number 1 Bucks versus the number 8 Magic. Is that a sweep?
Sweet, but I hope we get to see Markelle Fultz ball out.
That's a sweep. John, sweep?
Didn't the Magic go last year?
Yeah. Yeah, they beat the Raptors. They beat them in one game. The first game, actually. DJ Augustine had game 1 and 3.
I definitely think the Magic got one in them. I do. Like, the Bucks, they have Giannis, but on a real, I know those matchups, no, on paper they don't match up well. But the Bucks, they have the tendency to blow games. And they give up points. You can score on them. And people, for some reason, think DJ Augustin isn't still a bucket, but he is. And he's a former top 10 pick. So I think if he goes to playoffs again, they're not going to win that series, obviously. And they probably won't win 2 games. But
I know that, but not say DJ Augustine.
I mean, you're not going to disrespect him. Like I said.
Bucket. I don't even know DJ starting him, though.
You could have said anyone but him.
The reason why I said DJ Augustine because he's the underdog. I know y'all know that.
He a veteran, though. He has been, like,
you're right.
As far as making
he is a vet. But I would have said Fultz.
Fultz isn't the reason why – he not going to be the reason why they win the game. It'll be Augustine.
No, they best player is I can't pronounce his last name correctly. Yeah.
Vucevic?
Yeah. He's there, but he's nice, bro.
Don't worry. They play at 9 o'clock. You'll get to see them beat up on the Pelicans.
So you have the Bucks in the sweep, JB.
You have the Bucks. Nah, I have the Bucks in 5 because I feel like they tend to have a tendency to play down to certain teams, and they'll give away a game. I would like to see them make a step and actually focus for 4 games and actually beat them how we know they can beat them. But it's just going to be a lapse in focus just because they already know, like, we're going to win the series. So it is what it is.
I mean,
but
they said the same thing last year, and then they said it was a waste of time for them to play the Pistons in the first round because every game they beat them by 20. So that's exactly what I think what type of series is going to be. And they'll cruise to round 2, so we'll see.
I agree.
Keep in mind now, the champions last year were challenged by the Magic in certain games. Keep that in mind.
Speaking of defending champs, they see the Brooklyn Nets. They see the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs. I have that series going 5. I think the Toronto will handle that series pretty well. I think game 1 or 2 may slip away, but I think all in all, better players and better coaching will win that game.
I agree. I think Spicy P averages about 27 for that series. I think Kyle Lowry, people see how he's able to perform with Fred VanVleet in that backcourt. So I think that's going to put people on notice for a round 2 matchup with either the Heat or Boston, right?
No, it's Boston or the 76ers.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a good matchup for the Raptors heading in.
Cut doing the mob dance, so I assume that's a sweep.
The Nets not beating them. I don't think they're gonna beat them at all. Like it's not because like I said, I don't think either team deserves to really be there. But they can't mess with them when because like you can lose to anybody on the Raptors right now. The way they playing is like that Chris Boucher or however you say his name. One night he went off. One night Van Vliet could go off. One night Lowry could go off. One night Siakam go off.
Stanley Johnson just went off.
And Novi could go off. Stanley Johnson could be like, they're not the best team on paper, but individually, they got a lot of hoopers and a lot of people that can play. So that's why, like, when somebody's hot, they're gonna ride the hot hand. That's how they play. So that's why I feel like last year they went so far because Kawhi wasn't the hot hand every game.
He just took off when he needed to.
Right. So, and as long as they got somebody that could be hot, they can win games.
Hooper.
That's why I think Raptors for sure could beat them in 4, and I think the Bucks could get the Magic in 4, like just because of the fact that I don't really see nobody really being able to stop Giannis from playing how he play. So I feel like even he gonna be the reason on like average a triple-double type, like just drive all game and kick to beat the Magic. Because I'm saying you can't put Vucevic on him. You can't put really Aaron Gordon on him for real. So I don't know. Jonathan Isaac gone. He was one of their best defenders.
Do y'all agree, John and Jace, the Raptors in a sweep, or do you think the Nets can steal a couple games from Toronto?
I guess I give Toronto the edge over the Nets.
I know it pains you to say that, but
I mean it's the Nets, so I mean why not? But whoever they go against in round 2 probably get more competition than Nets.
Jace, you need to replace that G on your sweater with H because you're a damn hater.
That was a bad joke.
John, I assume your quietness on reading the room, like you said, that the Raptors will win this series convincingly 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I agree with Derek. The way the Raptors are playing right now in the bubble, they're one of the hottest teams, if not top 3 teams that's hot. They surprisingly have a better winning record than they did last year with Kawhi Leonard.
True.
So they're that's really unbelievable. So they picked up their rhythm, like Derek said. Any of those players can get hot, and they've been resting a lot too. So they're ready, and they're going against the Nets team. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't even play like my players for real.
Just wait till next year till KD, Kyrie get done.
Well, Jamal Crawford gonna show out. I know that for sure.
I hope so.
Joe Harris, Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
They said, heading into that matchup with the Blazers tonight. Watch out for Tyler Johnson.
Nah, I think it's good for those players though to get this their opportunity to get the eye of another team.
For sure.
They only got signed on 1-year deals because of the bubble situation. Like they weren't there from the jump, except Joe Harris. But and I think Joe Harris' contract might be up after this season or next season. I'm not sure, but this is if you're on that next team and you're a veteran, this is your chance to just be like, come sign me next year. You know what I'm saying? You see what I just did? Because especially Jamal Crawford, they kind of did him dirty and it took him. Nobody gave him a chance.
Similar to Melo.
Yeah.
If the Lakers don't win the finals, that will be their downfall, not getting Jamal Crawford.
We have the 3-seed Celtics going against the 6-seed 76ers. News broke not today, but earlier in the week saying that Ben Simmons will have surgery and he won't return unless the Sixers make a deep playoff run. And there was also a report that came out that said the Cavaliers were interested in signing trading for Ben Simmons. LeBron and Ben, that's interesting. But let's get back to it. I have the Celtics winning this series and I'm gonna say 6. I think Embiid can win 2 games. But cutting to mine, saying Celtics in 5. John, what says you?
I know you moved on from the Nets, but last point, the Nets are 5-2 in the bubble entering tonight's game versus Portland, and I really think they have a chance of beating Portland. The interim head coach is African American, and he's done a great job of making a resurgence into that organization. So they are a tougher team than what they appear like. But for the Celtics and 76ers, I love what Jaylen Brown is doing. He's been an advocate for the NBA, trying to get those women or whoever to come inside the bubble. He's speaking on the players' mental health. So I really feel like him, along with other Celtics players, like they're ready, they're woke, and I think they're going to go ahead and win. As far as the amount of games, I mean, I don't know. The Sixers, I don't think it was Jalen who said they've had a disappointing season. Like I don't think they were better last year.
They underachieved for sure.
Yeah, this year they're taking a dip, and they've definitely lost Ben Simmons now. So that's gonna have a strong impact. The Celtics are at full health, and I think they're gonna go ahead and probably win that 5 games or less.
Jalen, John, Trey, do you agree that the Celtics will win this game in 5 games?
No, they will win in 6. The reason I say that is because, like you said, Embiid can win 2 games, and the Celtics have proven this doesn't even fall on Brad Stevens, but they also are a team that gets complacent, and I can see them losing a few close games down the stretch that they should have won and blowing some leads that should have never been blown in the first place. So, I mean, unless Richardson just comes to play out of his mind and Tobias Harris kind of play out of his mind along.
He would have to be the person that steps up for them to win.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, Richardson, right?
I was saying Tobias. I think Tobias need to, and because he's been in like the tier 3 like rankings of like superstardom for tier 4 whatever, and superstardom for a minute. I think if he has a great series against Boston, he could like push up to make even a conversation for tier 2.
That
is true.
Talking about Al Horford revenge.
Babyface Horford, he back.
Al is a solid role player though, so you can't really sleep on him. He's a solid role player.
He gets what you expect.
The Celtics didn't do him wrong. The Celtics tried to save him from the jump.
I know, but I'm saying from the standpoint of how he may be able to put his foot down on this series. If you're gonna beat the Celtics, I think you'll do it down low.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
The weakness is the center.
But I think
if Tobias Harris could be physical.
Go ahead. You finish.
No, I was just saying like if Philly is gonna make this a competitive series, they have to beat an aggressor. Like I haven't seen Philly beat an aggressor much often, but if Embiid, Al Horford, which I haven't seen for much of his career, him like going for the kill, and Tobias Harris, like then they'll get swept or they'll be done in 5. There is no home advantage in Philly this time around. So
my point I was gonna say to Jalen, he said the Celtics get complacent. Well, last year their star player wasn't there. He didn't play for.
He played last year.
Kyrie played in the playoffs?
Kyrie played last year. Yeah, he played.
Yeah, he played. I was more so talking about this year. I seen that in games.
But that's what I'm saying. They got complacent last year, but their leader wasn't like the alpha they needed to be.
So he wasn't the leader, but they beat him in game 1, and then Jaylen Brown went for 7 in game 2, and Jason Tatum went for 5 in game 3.
You naming 2-year pros and 1-year pros though, right? And 3-year pros.
Oh, and Gordon Hayward. So Kyrie and Al Horford was
Gordon Hayward Gordon Hayward was off the injury, right?
Kyrie's supposed to get it done by himself.
That was his first season after the injury. He's supposed to be the alpha dog. The person you say KD is what he was supposed to be.
He was the leading scorer.
I'm gonna continue making my point.
Against the 1 seed? I'm asking you a question.
People like Terry Rozier had to step up.
Don't comment on my guy and don't expect me to.
People like Terry Rozier had to be the emotional leader for the team when the person that's the leader of the team couldn't handle their business. So that's why I think they got complacent last year. That's what my issue is with them last year. Do I have a problem with Kyrie personally? No. Do I think he's a good player? Yes. I just don't think he can be the best person on the team, and that's fine. Everybody can't be.
I was talking about this year. They get complacent this year, bro.
You said he got complacent in games last year in the playoffs. That's what you said.
Jay Stray, do you agree that the Celtics will win this game in 5 games, or do you think the Sixers will make this a competitive series? You on mute, Trey? Let's try that again. Take two. Who you got winning?
I'm more so in 6. I was on mute. I was on mute. But yeah, I feel like 6. I agree. Embiid can get 1. I mean, still Embiid. Ben Simmons is out, right?
Yeah. They said he got a surgery on his kneecap. Won't return unless they make a deep playoff run. So that's like Eastern Conference Finals.
So I mean, yeah, Embiid can get him 1. Then they can. I mean, yeah, 6. But they're definitely not gonna win the series. I mean, the Sixers, you can't sleep. They could maybe make it 7. Like if
they got talent. It's just
like they're not. Yeah, it just. And then they're missing Ben Simmons too. So
yeah. Jace, I agree. Your silence says the Celtics, right, gonna win. Yeah. Is this the series that Brett Brown gets fired after the series? You think they'll be done with him?
100%.
Tell me why.
Bring in Tyler. Brett Brown is
you've had chances.
mediocre,
not like you
bro.
Didn't have players.
That's true.
Yeah, he's mediocre.
Like 2nd round, 3rd round.
Say that again,
what Donovan is doing with the Thunders. Yeah, he got to go.
Got you. And what do you guys think about the Cavs being interested in Ben Simmons?
Think about what?
About the Cavaliers being interested in Ben Simmons. They said they have trade interest for him.
What they don't? The Sixers don't need Drummond, and I doubt they send like Garland, Sexton, and Porter. Right? They wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right? So,
well, they might give up a guard, like maybe
a guard
Garland or Sexton. It would have to.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Simmons is one of those players. He's a franchise player for any franchise, I feel like. So, I mean, trading for him would benefit the team trading for him.
Oh, facts.
But
yeah, they'll probably trade Garland. I mean, Garland for sure, and probably like a pick, and maybe K Love.
It would have to be Garland or Sexton, Kevin Porter Jr.
Somebody with a contract then signed like somebody with a.
You would have to for an all-star, perennial all-star, clutch sports athlete. You would have to give up a lot.
K Love in another piece, and probably something else will probably fit.
I don't think that's the trade K Love goes. But if they trade for Ben Simmons, I
It would
think
have
that.
to, I think what have to include Kevin Love.
You have to.
Ben Simmons
I think
is
to make the money work. I think the money work. So yeah, it will have to
no
include.
way
Money.
Ben Simmons leaves the Sixers.
You said?
I said what the 76ers want him though.
Oh, Kevin Love.
Yeah.
He a better big than Horford, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They don't want him more than they want Ben Simmons.
And I think
He
the
can get
Sixers
you
team. I think the
18,
Sixers
10.
team is like made to like disrupt what the Bucks are doing with Giannis and his length. Having Embiid, Love, Simmons, you could just throw at him, like things like that. I think they would love that.
Without giving up Simmons.
Say it again.
How they get Love?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. Well, my example, I didn't say it. I was just saying they like length that like disrupts what Giannis is doing. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
They're good on paper now.
They are good on paper now.
I just said Ben and Embiid need to split up. If they can't get it done, then they won't. So it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last first round.
Healthy. Man.
Last first round series, the Miami Heat versus the Indiana Pacers. I'm gonna say this. This series is gonna go 5. I think Miami will handle their business with this one.
Smack on the Pacers.
Yeah, I think they're gonna handle their business on this one.
5. Pacers is good enough to get one.
Anybody disagree?
I disagree.
I really like the Pacers. I think Oladipo steps up in this series.
You go after my bad, I mean to cut you off. John, you go after DeMar.
Well, you think the Pacers gonna win it?
I know, but I think it. I got it going 6. I just remember this being the same Pacer team pre-Oladipo that took LeBron Game 7. I like Nate McMillan as a coach. I like a lot of things about Indiana, so I think they could push it to 6.
I think missing Sabonis this series. I think they're gonna really miss Sabonis this series. Like I don't think like interior presence they're gonna really miss that. That's what Sabonis brought.
LeBron 7 was Paul George still?
I was about to say, what are you talking about? The same team that took LeBron to 7. You said the same team.
Oladipo was there when he took LeBron.
They literally just took
totally
LeBron
different
7
team,
when
though.
he went to the finals.
Oh, they traded for Paul George when they got that, right?
No, I'm saying
Trade Oladipo for Paul
couldn't have
George.
been the
Okay,
exact same team.
Okay, Brogdon, a couple other pieces, but Nate McMillan is still the coach. Oladipo is still the best player.
Oladipo want to be a Miami Heat.
Enough, Jalen. John, tell me why you don't think Miami will win this series in 5.
I do think that the Pacers team is better than what y'all are giving them credit for. This team just beat the Lakers. That did have both of their star players. As far as I'm concerned, they had all of their players, and they were trying to win that game. And I think the Pacers showed out. And I believe that this is also it's a mini rivalry. It's also they've seen this team for 4 times when they go to the playoff match. So I mean, it's so much tape they have on them. I don't think they can consistently keep losing to the same team over and over again when they have a coach that is defensive minded and they have players that have the capacity to beat the Miami Heat. So I definitely think it could be a 7-game type series.
There we go.
If Jimmy loses, I don't think the Heat can lose. I don't think the Heat will lose, but I think it's possible that they can lose.
Gotcha.
I like the Heat. If you're asking me, like, I'm biased. Jimmy Butler's one of my favorite players. I love Eric Spoelstra as a coach. I like the 3-point shooting that they're showing this year. And Duncan Robinson or David, whatever his name is, has shown to be like a real threat. So, I'm rooting for Miami, but I'm not going to be surprised if they go to 7 games and the Indiana Pacers like come out on top. That will not surprise me.
I know everybody has some opinions. I just want to say, John, you're real funny how you like flip flop because last week it was Miami just don't have shooters and they just don't. But
I said that offline.
But
Derek, Derek, you raise your hand first. You go first.
He just beat them by 22 points. PJ Warren only had 12 points, shot 35% from the field. Oladipo had 14. He was the leading scorer. Brogdon had 12. Warren had 12. Aaron Holiday had 8. Miles had 9. And then they had a couple. Oh, Doug McDermott had 9 off the bench. Meanwhile, Jimmy had 19, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. And Tyler Hero had 17. Derrick Jones had 18. Duncan Robinson had 14. They were shooting lights out. They play again tomorrow, which is when by the time this come out, it'll already passed. But they play Friday, August 14th. Yeah. They probably gonna bench everybody, but both teams should. I would. It don't matter. It's locked in. Bench everybody. Let the bench play against each other, and then run it back Monday or Tuesday whenever y'all play. But I'm saying this to say, Pacers don't. Without Sabonis, Pacers can't win a 7-game series against nobody. And then Oladipo, he's just not like he was coming off injury when he got into the bubble. You know what I'm saying? So he been kind of like trying to get back in groove. And that was the most he had. I think that was the most points he had scored like in the bubble, that 14 right then and there. It might be more than that. I could be wrong. But then I'm saying eventually he's gonna get better. And Oladipo is a hooper and he can ball. I just think when the offense, everybody know who the offense got to run through in this bubble. TJ Warren got the green light. And the Heat ready for that. And Jimmy is ready for that. So it's just like, there really ain't much you can do. And it's like, I know Nate McMillan can call a good defensive, a lot of good defensive sets and stuff, but the way the Heat don't really let the point guard dominate the ball, Jimmy's ball dominant, they let Bam play a little ball dominant and bring the ball up, and that causes a lot of mismatches for them because a lot of people can't stop ball on the Pacers. Like, you got a center out there trying to guard Bam, he like, dang. Then you got Duncan off an off-ball screen at the top, boom, 3. And they just pull, and they pull a lot.
Yep. I just think, before I give it to you, Jace, I just think that Miami has a mental edge over Indiana, stemming from the Jimmy Butler when they first played. It's just, I think when the Pacers see the Heat, they just
bully them a little bit. It's like,
yes.
Food
Similar to the Rockets when they play the Warriors the last 4 or 5 years. It's like there's a mental edge. Jace, what you got to say?
I feel like the series will go to 7 with John on this one. Reason being because both the teams are still wet behind the ears. So this is like what?
Waiting to use that one.
Dollar, Jay Crowder.
Jace, read the room because everybody you said that. Wet behind the ears, my boy.
You don't know what behind the ears mean?
No, I know it.
I know what it means. I said, I said they got 3 veterans though. They have 4. Well, they really have 4 veterans.
Ain't no rookies.
I have the Heat winning in 7, but I don't feel like they can just demolish the Pacers because the Pacers are hot right now. They're pretty hot. So
we just beat them by 22.
Going in 6.
Put them down Monday, bro.
5 or 6. 6 is demolishing. 4 is demolishing. 6 is respect.
5 is demolishing too.
5 is demolishing. That's 2 games.
You missing your best good point.
5 is not demolishing. That's 4-1.
The best big man missing though. That's you gotta win.
Understand that. That's why I have the Heat winning in 7. But I just don't feel like because the Heat are still a pretty young team.
I know what I'm saying. They look young because of and Bam, but
where
I can literally name you the people who play for us that are young.
The whole starting 5 is young, pretty much.
But that's why you got veterans on the bench that come in and play.
I understand that. That's why I have them winning in 7.
Let me tell you, Jace, because you obviously don't know who starts for us.
Take us home so you can move to the Western Conference, Jalen. Take us home.
Kendrick Nunn starts for us.
Right, he's young.
Jimmy Butler,
veteran.
Duncan Robinson,
young.
Bam. This is his like 3rd, 4th year.
2nd year, buddy.
This is Bam's 2nd year.
This is Bam's second.
No, it's not. No, this is like his 3rd year.
I'll look it up.
3rd year.
Bam is young. It might be his 3rd season.
Max.
The only one who's named is Jimmy Butler. That's a
veteran. And we'll throw Jay Crowder in there sometimes, and then we'll throw Kelly Olynyk.
This is Bam's 3rd year.
Okay, 3rd.
Yeah.
Has he played? He had like 1 year of playoff experience, or have they been in the?
We really don't have a.
Iggy's a vet.
1 year.
Yeah, but we have veterans.
I said Iggy,
Jay Crowder.
That's why I'm giving the edge.
And Jimmy,
Kelly Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk,
a veteran.
Dragic
is a veteran.
Yes.
That's everybody else. Is really outside of Harrow, Bam, Duncan, and Nunn. And
you got
Jones Jr.
Don't matter.
Bro, I'm giving him 6-7. I go 6-7.
I see. They was playing a team like.
It's gonna be funny with being
more experience. Like they're playing a team like the Raptors or the Celtics or the Bucks, and you talk experience. I'd be like, yeah, you right about that.
I think the Pacers, like, I ain't gonna say I believe in them to win, and I'll say this: the Heat have a team to go further in the playoffs than the Pacers. Like, their team is built to last in the playoffs. Like you said, they're young. They're not, and they have better. So it's a nice blend. I think the Pacers, they don't have that type of that that bench utilization isn't there. But like they have enough stamina to win.
That's why they were
At
losing.
least one 7-game series. At least one.
Bench is not good.
And this, I feel like this is the first round. This is the only like series I see that's going like 6 or 7. That's really the only.
I think he's gonna be sitting around
Crazy.
playing the second round or chilling by the West.
Jalen, you can't tell me that this series this might be a good series, bro. Like it's not gonna be no cakewalk.
You're right, bro.
Saying
100%.
good, like you saying like
I don't think they're going more than 5.
it's like
Basketball reasons, bro.
it's
Not
like a reasonable.
If it was,
it would be a shock if the
Miami,
Pacers beat them.
Indiana, Miami.
It would be a major upset if the Pacers beat the Heat in the
Oh,
finals.
I'm not saying they're gonna be. I see them going 6 or 7 and Heat winning, but it's not gonna be a cakewalk. It's not.
I think if they could have the option to go to Indiana and Miami,
It's sweet.
they're playing in the
4 or
It's not gonna
5.
be a cakewalk, but it's gonna be
I
sweet.
don't think they could. I don't think they could.
Just said
Gotcha.
4 or 5.
It'll be 4 or 5.
Hey,
I said 5 to give them their respect. Honestly, I really think it's gonna go 4 in my heart of hearts, but I'm just giving them the respect.
Wow.
Of, you can get one game.
Wow.
Gotcha. Let's move on to the Western Conference.